So I'm gonna go deep understanding what is the business like, what is the business opportunity that we are chasing. But before that, let me get started with my first signature question for everybody who has come here. And the question is very simple. Among all the things that you could be solving in your life, doing in your life, why you're doing what you're doing?
Thanks for asking that question. And if you ask me, let's say 20 years back when I was doing my MBA, someone would ask me what business would you be doing? This would not have been the answer for
Absolutely, yes.
sure. I
Yes.
had my own ideas of doing a food tech startup or some app or something of that sort, and I think it was just a chain of events, or maybe it was this time. So the answer somewhere lies with my background.
Yeah.
I come from a typical Marwadi family where we see business from a very young age. And my dad started a business which was into trading of wire meshes.
Okay.
Now, wire meshes are mainly used for a variety of applications. For example, they're used in industries for filtration, they're used for insect screens, they're used in zoos as cages. And one of the major applications of that was fencing. So I used to see this products right as a child, as young as I think I was 3 or 4, like when Dad started his business. And when I entered into the family business, we were of course trading it, but unlike most Marwadis, just making money didn't really excite me. Yeah. And I was like, what am I really doing? Like, is it just about like your numbers and like how much money you're making at the end of the day and feeling good about it? Like, what are you doing? What are you disrupting? Yeah. After all this education and things like that? So the family business had reached a stage where we were growing, but there was nothing exciting as such. That was about when we started exploring different avenues. So one of the avenues was that the products that we are selling, can we actually do a forward integration of that? Got it. So now the applications of meshes, if you see, is one is of course insect screens, one was fencing, one was the filtration, which was more of an industrial thing. So we didn't want to get that. And what really drew my attention to fencing was um, that this was a completely unorganized market. Yeah. There was not a single brand out there, not one organized player. And whenever I traveled to other countries, what I was seeing, like particularly in US and Australia, that fencing was a very organized market. And when we took let's say baby steps in that direction, the kind of response that we got from the market, yeah, particularly on the B2B side, was like really wow. Because see, many times like when you are doing a project, like this is a very small component of it, but many times it is a huge headache, and it's many a times the first activity that happens in a project. And sometimes if it's a greenfield project, there's literally nothing which is out there. So even we had our own share of challenges in terms of uh, like really understanding. We did burn our fingers big time, but eventually we found that product market fit. And when we started seeing those early traction, that's when I felt that okay, here is a huge market which is waiting to be tapped, and nobody has really kind of looked into it. And I kind of went to Dad, which was a very difficult conversation because I'm the elder son, and in Marwadi family, so expected to take over the family business. And yeah, I said to Dad, I have this dream, and I was bitten by the startup bug. I think this was in 16, 17, like Amazons and the Olas and Ubers had come, and I used to travel to Bangalore a lot. So I'm from Coimbatore, so I used to travel to Bangalore a lot, and somehow that startup bit went, and I told to Dad, I really want to do this because I don't want to have a regret in my life. And thank God for him, he was like very open to the whole idea. So that's where the Justfence journey kind of started, and yeah.